culture is a galaxy of diverse conventions. Flora and fauna, rituals, cuisines, costumes, artwork, handicrafts, music, dance, the magic of cinema, festivals, folklore, Indian culture, a celebration of diversity.
Incredible India.
India, a confluence of Vedic traditions. Vishwaguru, teacher to the world. Keeper of centuries-old heritage. Land of ancient empires. Divine architecture. The most sacred shrines. Artistry led by scientific thinking. Age-old rituals enlightening the modern minds. History walking through walled cities, time-tested forts, larger-than-life palaces, recreating yesterday for a proud tomorrow.
Incredible India.
India, the birthplace of great religions of the world. The home of Vedas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and several revered scriptures. The land of Buddha, where he got enlightened and attained nirvana. The epicenter of renunciation and non-violence taught by Lord Mahavira. The home ground of Bhakti movement, Sufism, and modern spiritual leaders. The most sacred shrine of Sikh faith. A country where religious monuments have become World Heritage Sites for their antiquity and craftsmanship. Most revered pilgrimage circuits for Hindus across the globe. Grandeur of Maha-Aartis, larger-than-life religious fairs, offering spiritual peace and tranquility to the world. India offers an unparalleled ethereal delight to the world. Come to India, bless your soul.
Incredible India.
Thank you. Now, I would like to invite Shri Rakesh Kumar Verma, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, for his welcome address. Shri Rakesh Kumar Verma is currently the Additional Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. Shri Verma is an IAS officer from Punjab cadre 1993 batch. His responsibility includes international cooperation, events, Swadesh Darshan, niche tourism, information technology, overseas marketing, and other key activities of the Tourism Ministry. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Ravi, and good afternoon, esteemed panelists, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I extend a warm welcome to all of you who have joined us today in this session, Discover Incredible India, Connecting with Culture, Heritage, and Spirituality. India is blessed with rich history and a vibrant culture and heritage, often referred to as a living museum. India, being one of the world's oldest civilizations, has an ancient heritage and culture that has shaped various rich forms of art, architecture, music, dance, traditions, crafts, textiles, languages, fairs and festival, cuisines over a period of time. India is home to 40 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, which is a testament to its vibrant heritage. The historical and cultural assets have been converted into tourism products, which attract large number of tourists from all over the world. Efforts have been made to create experiences around these heritage sites and monuments with interpretation facilities, souvenir shops, eateries, and other conveniences to enhance the overall visitor experience. There are museums which are rich repositories of the country's culture and heritage over a period of time. Several heritage palaces have been converted into heritage and luxury hotels, which have seen great interest from foreign tourists. Tourism is helping us in preserving our built heritage and intangible assets like folk arts, dance forms, theater, etc. Spiritual tourism holds a special place in India as the birthplace of four great religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism. India attracts significant number of visitors. The presence of several sacred destinations of these faiths in the country makes these destinations among the most visited sites globally. Various built places of worships across the country are living testimony to the artistic excellence achieved by the Indian artists, sculptors, and architects. An immersive experience awaits you when you visit these spiritual sites. India is giving a massive push to infrastructure, improving connectivity by air, rail, and highways to facilitate travel. This has significantly enhanced accessibility of various destinations of cultural, heritage, and spiritual importance. India is also investing in its cities to provide better services to the visitors. Investment in tourism infrastructure has led to better interpretation and experience of tourism products and offering. India is celebrating and commemorating 75 years of independence as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, showcasing progressive India and the glorious history of its people, culture, and achievements. This will be an opportune moment for you to visit India and experience India in the backdrop of these celebrations. As we come out of the pandemic, I will urge all of you to visit India and experience the magic of Atithi Devo Bhava. The guest is God, an age-old tradition of India, and discover the culture, heritage, and spiritual offerings of India. Take a journey of self-discovery and self-fulfillment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your address. Now I'll give presentation on behalf of IATO. India's cultural heritage is not only one of the most ancient, but it is also one of the most extensive and varied. From ancient time to the present, races and religion came here and left their imprints on culture. India, with rich and precious cultural and natural heritage, came to be known as the land of great wonders and diversities. The culture of India refers to the way of life of people of India. India's language, religion, dance, festival, architecture, food, customs differ from place to place within the country. It is interesting to note that in the 10th century, the Arabs described Indian culture as Ajaibul Hind. The literal meaning of Ajaibul Hind is incredible India. So the tradition and lifestyles are inherited from rich past in India's strong heritage. This heritage encompasses the history and idea of people of the country, their values, belief, monuments, sites of important past events such as art, folk dances, classical music. Being an Oriental ancient civilization, India has a history of 5,000 years old and its culture, which is extensive, profound, and unique. All this has made immense contribution to the world progress and civilization. Beside the architectural creations, monuments, material artifacts, the intellectual achievements and philosophy, treasures of knowledge, scientific inventions and discoveries are part of our heritage. We should admire the contribution of Bodhayans Aryabhatta Bhaskacharya to the mathematics, astronomy and astrology, and also Kannad and Varahami in the field of physics. Similarly, Nagarjuna in the field of chemistry, Shushrut and Charak in the field of medicine, Patanjali in the field of yoga. These are our profound treasures of cultural heritage. Our Indian cultural heritage is binding India together. For example, Indian literatures, scripts, namely Vedas, Upanishads, Gita, yoga system, etc., have contributed a lot of way of providing right knowledge, right action, behavior, practice as complementary to the development of civilization. Look at the map of India and you will see in a vast country with a lot of diversity in our physical and social environment. We see people around us speaking different languages, having different religion, practicing different rituals. You can also see these diversities in our food habits and dress patterns. But within all these diversities, there is an underlying unity which acts as a cementing force. The intermingling of people has been steadily taking place in India over centuries. A people from different racial stock, ethnic backgrounds, religious belief has settled down here. Harappan civilization flourished in Indian subcontinent around 4,500 ago, and it had trade with Mesopotamian and Chinese civilization. Archaeologists have found evidences that shows culture existed here even before mature phase of Harappan civilization. This tells us that we have a long history behind us. A large number of languages and dialects are spoken in our country. People belonging to eight great religions of the world coexist here in harmonious manner. Do you know that India is home to many religions of the world like Jainism, Sikhism, Buddhism, and of course Hinduism. Numerous styles of architecture, sculptures, paintings have developed here. Different styles of music, dance, both folk and classical, exist in the country. So are the numerous festivals and customs. The wide variety has led us to the making of Indian culture, both composite, rich and beautiful at the same time. The important reason for the variety in our culture is intermingling among the various ethnic groups. Since time immemorial, people are from far and near have been coming and settling in India. Various ethnic groups like Iranians, Greeks, Kushan, Shaks, Huns, Arabs, Turks, Mughals, and Europeans also came to India and settled here and intermixed with the local population. The people belonging to our culture brought their cultural habits, thoughts, and ideas, which got amalgamated into existing culture. Like the word roti, which is an Indian bread, is a Turkish word, and sambosa or samosa came from Central Asia. Also, sherwani, the attire which generally worn by Indian subcontinental bridegroom, is a dress of Sherwan people of Central Asia. Thus, India, through the ages, has shown a remarkable capacity of assimilation of different habits and ideas. This has contributed to the variety and richness of our culture. The composite nature of our culture is reflected in our music, dance forms, drama, art forms like painting, sculptures, architectures as well. Our literature in different languages also reflects the composite nature. We have great variety of thoughts and habit in our country. You will recall that Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jain, Parsis, and Jews living in India. The Constitution declared India to be a secular country. Everyone is free to profess, practice, and propagate any religion of their own choice. The state has no religion of its own, and all religions are treated equal by the state. No one is to be discriminated on the basis of religion. People celebrate all festivals together, whether it's Diwali, Christmas, Eid, etc. Similarly, ethnic culture is strong among the tribal groups as well. For example, in the small state of Nagaland in northeastern part of India, there are more than a dozen tribes, and they differ from each other in their dress, speech, and belief. Similarly, Bastar district of Chhattisgarh has several groups claiming different ethnic and origin. The glorious past of India has ensured that the present and subsequent generation have plenty of historical, cultural, and natural heritage to be proud of. The fascinating monuments and the heritage sites in the country stand quietly today to tell you the story of joy, sorrow, courage, and sacrifice before tourists. Each of the stories is so enchanting, singular, that tourists will be left asking for more at the end of each narration. The rich heritage of India comes alive with all fragrance and colors in the heritage forts, palaces, temples, monuments, which can be found in each and every corner of our multifaceted country. The splendid architecture, minutely carved motifs, embellished facades of heritage monuments narrates the immense skill of craftsmanship, which has been fascinating the world for many centuries. When foreign tourists visit India, they may not be able to see entire heritage sites of India, as these are far too many and they need more than one trip. That's why we have lots of repeated tourists which comes to India. UNESCO has come up with a mission to protect this treasure, which is the finest gift to the world from India, be it exquisite craftsmanship, marble inlay work to Taj Mahal, or sculptures of Khajuraho temples, or excellent fusion of science and art in Konark Sun Temple. Indian heritage sites are manifest to extremely rich heritage of India. I will take sites on my next slides. And with a home to 40 UNESCO World Heritage Site, 104 national parks, and 566 sanctuaries, this is our heritage.
Ravi, slides are not moving.
Yes, sir. Now I'm coming to slides. So when we talk about the culture of India, India is an amalgamation of thousands of culture, I just said. So I'll take you to a journey through the cities and festival that adorn cultural skyline of incredible India. I'll start with Amritsar, which is also known as Golden City. It's this place for Sikh culture, and Sri Harminder Sahib Golden Temple and Jallianwala Bagh. You can walk through the Ranjit Singh Museum, and also like Punjab is very famous for its authentic cuisine. Then we move to Lucknow, city of Nawabs. It's a great amalgamation of Hindu and Muslim cultures. Furthermore, many literary and performing arts flourished here. It is famous for its craftsmanship, painting styles, and also local Avdi cuisine. Delhi is potpourri of different cultures. Rajput, Sultan, Khiljis, Mughal, and British ruled these lands and left behind part of themselves in form of monuments, painting, artifacts, literary works, custom, festivals, and more. It is perhaps the major reason that most festivals of India are celebrated with equal enthusiasm. Then Rajasthan is known for land of Rajputs, which shows their valor and courage. Some of the top cultural sites in India can be found here. From the vibrant dresses to the folklore, music, dances, and cuisine, this all makes Rajasthan a special place in the tourist map of India. Run of Kutch, it's one of the unique desert which you can find on the western part of India in Gujarat, and it holds quite a good reputation among the local and international tourists. It is very famous for Run Utsav, which is currently going on, and it lasts for 100 days. Khajuraho is land of 11th century temples, and there are countless sculptures of cult icons, demigods, and apsaras depicting love, grace, beauty, and delicacy, sensuality, erotism can be seen in temples. This is perfect mix of Hinduism and Jainism in its culture. There is also a very good sound and light show in the evening, which tell you the tale of Chandela dynasty. Kolkata, on the eastern part of India, is also known as City of Joy, and this was passed from hands of Nawab to the earliest representative of East India Company, which later on went to become a British Empire in India. And it's the cultural capital of India and birthplace of Indian culture, literary thought, and majority of India's notable literary figure like Rabindranath Tagore, they come from here. This place also is definitely should be on your bucket list if you want to experience roots of modern Indian subculture. Then we moved to south of India in Mysore. It's a cultural capital of Karnataka. The Myriad Art Gallery showcase in the printing influenced by the Vijayanagar kingdom, also known as Mysore printing, and Mughal Empire, Ganjifa art. Mysore silk sarees are world famous, and Udupi cuisine. The Sera festival is one of the major attraction at Mysore. Hyderabad, it's also in the south of India, is called was established in 1591 as is also called a city of Nizams, established by Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah and ruled by Sultans, Mughals and Nizams before becoming a princely state under British Raj. The reason was under the ancient kingdom of Chalukya and Kakatiyas, the city's architecture is richly influenced with all culture, literally craftsmanship, handicrafts, paintings, dances and theaters. And Hyderabadi biryani, one should not miss when you visit Hyderabad. Kerala, as we tag it as a God's own country, is a diverse culture. You can see a very good mix of Arya and Dravidian cultures with influence drawn time again and again with Indian and international places. Hinduism, Islam and Christianity contributed majorly to the architecture, the rituals and customs. There are many festivals of Kerala. There is a Malayalam literature and folklores which shows influence from the local tradition, customs, rituals. Kerala is also quite famous for Ayurveda, which comes traditionally from the ages. Varanasi, from the oldest, now we move to Varanasi, which is one of the oldest living city in the world, if I'm not wrong. Varanasi tops the list of cultural destination in India, and also it's even it's a very sacred city for Hindus. And in the evening there is a Ganga Aarti which we offer to river Ganga. Is a very interesting and attractive event for tourists. And also the 5-day classical music and dance extravaganza during Ganga Mahotsav as a major part of culture. Now we move to the east in Bhubaneswar, the Odissi dance form, one of the oldest of 8 existing Indian classical dance forms, braces back to the temples in Bhubaneswar. Keeping this in mind, there is no reason to left the city skip from the best cultural destination of India. Bhopal is in the heart of Madhya Pradesh, heart of India, is a state of Madhya Pradesh, in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Bhopali culture is known for tradition of parda, the wheel worn by a woman, zarda, chewable tobacco, and garda, dirt flown in Sabar, and Narmada eunuchs that are a part of important celebration in the city. Drupad Samaro, Ijtama, Lokrang, and National Drama Festival are some of the most famous festivals in the lively city. Art scene too is thriving with music, theater, shairi become the important part of city's culture. Madurai is in down south of India in the state of Tamil Nadu. It's the culture center, and city finds root back to 2,500 years old. So it's a hub of Tamil language and education institution. It brings many scholars from all across the world. Majestic architecture, old terrain, old traditions, stunning artworks, festivals, regal ceremonies, music, folk dances, ballad and handicrafts are part of the city. Posh Mela in Santi Niketan, the haunting sounds of Ek Tara, one string instruments are audible even amidst the chattering of locals and tourists who make their way to Posh Mela. The annual celebration of the art takes place at Vishwa Bharati University in Shanti Niketan. Shanti Niketan is which is modeled on Gurukul system and was Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore's vision. The 6-day fair is known for its stall and selling handicrafts, product and artwork. Jaisalmer Desert Festival. It's a perfect mix of color and culture at the annual fair organized by Rajasthan Tourism. Jaisalmer is in the western part of India in the deserts, where you see folk singers, puppeteers, acrobats, and fire eaters. The highlight of the vibrant Jaisalmer Desert Festival, though, are eternally graceful Kalbelia dancers. Once professionally snake handlers, the Kalbelia community today evokes their former occupation in music and dance. The Hornbill Festival of Nagaland in the northeastern part of India. The Nagaland state government's annual cultural extravaganza is a treat for all senses. The week-long celebration presents colorful spectacle featuring folk performances, sports, culture, and traditional ceremonies. Goa Carnival, the sun, sand, and sea, and some samba. India's party capital, Goa wears its most gorgeous avatar during the carnival, with roots of tradition that was brought Goa by the Portuguese in early 16th century. The 4-day celebration starts on Saturday before the Ash Wednesday, and the best place to capture the state spirit and the flavor of its performing arts. The event of the carnival combines fiesta of diverse culture, religion, belief, and many street shows. Losar Festival, the culture, tradition, and performing arts of Ladakh are unique as its landscape. Ladakh is a Himalayan state on the northern part of India. The festival of Losar marks the beginning of Tibetan New Year. The origin of festival dates back to pre-Buddhist era in Tibet. The local came out in large number on the street and pray, pass fire torches, and dance and sing. Thayam festival, which is held in Kutikol in Kannur district, is a grand affair of showcase of Thayam, recognizes India's one of the oldest folk art forms and culture. Now we move to see the few sites of heritage important. So we have iconic forts, palaces, sculptures, frescoes, like I said in my opening remarks. And then we have national parks, mountain railways, which is also referred as a toy train, and Taj Mahal. So India prized to the 40 World Heritage Sites and has 6th number of sites in the world, each addressing a tourist destination. So Ajanta and Ellora caves in Maharashtra, Taj Mahal in Agra, Sun Temple in Odisha, eastern part of India. Then we have group monument in temples in Mahabalipuram, Tamil Nadu. We have Kanjiranga National Park, famous for single horn rhino, and Manas Wildlife Sanctuary, both in eastern part of India in Assam. Then we have Kevladev National Park, Bharatpur, which is famous for its migratory birds. And then we have churches and convents of Goa, Khajuraho group of temples, monuments, we have already spoken about that. Then we have Agra Fort, Fatehpur Sikri in Agra, Elephanta Caves in Maharashtra, is near Mumbai. Great living Chola temples, Sundarban National Park, which is quite famous for mangrove forest, and also home for Royal Bengal tiger. Nanda Devi and Valley of Flowers National Park in Uttarakhand state of India, which is in Himalayan state. Group of monuments of Hampi, Qutub Minar and its monument in Delhi, Humayun's tomb in Delhi, and Buddhist monument in Sanchi. The Sanchi stupa is world popular. We have group of temples in Padatkal. We have mountain railways in Darjeeling and in Shimla. Mahabodhi temple complex in Bodh Gaya is the place related to Lord Buddha. Rock shelters of Bhimbetka, Rani Ka Bhav, Queen's Stepwell in Patan, Gujarat, is near Ahmedabad. Champaner Pavagad Archaeological Park. Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, Red Fort complex in Delhi, it's a Mughal architecture. Then we have Jantar Mantar in Jaipur. We have Western Ghats on western coast of India, quite famous and the nature's gift to India. Hill forts of Rajasthan, archaeological sites at Nalanda, Bihar. Dholavira Harappan site. This is a newly site developed or excavated, I can say, in Gujarat, close to Kutch. Must visit place in future to excavate into the history. Jaipur is famous, it's known as Pink City and famous for its fort and palaces. Great Himalayan National Park in mountains again. The Victorian Art Deco assemble in Mumbai. The architectural work of Le Corbusier. Historic city of Ahmedabad. Rudrashwa Temple, Kanchenjunga National Park. Spirituality is part of Indian culture, I can say. Apart from the gorgeous mountains, soothing beaches, India is known for its diversity and spirituality. With so many temples and ashram of religious importance, you never fall short of places to visit a spiritual awakening. In fact, a lot of places are also designed in such a way that you find peace by just setting your foot there, be it a Jagannath temple in Puri or Kashi in Varanasi or Auroville in Pondicherry. There are a lot of spiritual destinations in India for you to explore. They open the door to the facet of tourism that beckons seekers of spirituality as they soak themselves in the cleaning of inner self and find proximity as they pray to divine power. I think we need more spirituality these days, whatever is going around us. So the few places which are related to spirituality is Tirupati. Tirupati is in southern part of India, southeastern part of Andhra Pradesh in South India, is in Chittoor district. It's known as abode of Kalyug deity Lord Venkateshwara, popularly known as Balaji Tirupati. It's a quite famous temple and hundred thousands of people visit every day. So one of the most pilgrimage centers in India. Bodh Gaya, like I said, is a cradle of Buddhism. This is 2,500-year-old birthplace of Buddhism, invites travelers from all across the world, and spiritual vibes retrace the footsteps of Lord Buddha and understand his philosophy at a place where he attained nirvana, enlightenment. So people, lots of people visit Bodh Gaya every year. Amritsar, I spoke about, it's the more pristine place for Sikh religion. And in fact, all people from different religions visit Amritsar and Golden Temple to find solace. Shirdi is famous all over India, associated with renowned Saint Sri Sai Baba, which mortal remains are buried here. Vaishno Devi is up in north in the mighty Trikuta mountains. The cave shrine of Trikuta Bhagavati, popularly known as Vaishno Devi, one of the most visited pilgrimage centers in India and indeed in the world. Ayodhya, famed as the birthplace of Lord Rama. Ayodhya is an important pilgrimage center about 134 kilometers from Lucknow. The Mega Deepotsava was organized here from 1st to 4th November 2021, and it sets a Guinness book records for 900,000 diyas in 15 minutes. It's a major, it's going to be a major tourist attraction in India. Basilica of Bom Jesus is in Old Goa. Basilica Bom Jesus was built in 1605 AD, and here you have the mortal remains of Saint Francis Xavier. And this monument is a typical form in a classical form of architecture introduced by Society of Jesus, otherwise known as Jesuits. Ashbir Sharif or Dargah is the final resting place of Sufi Saint Moinuddin Chishti and visited by people from all religions. Dilwara temples, popular all over the world for amazing use of marble as well as majestic architecture. The Dilwara temples were built by Vastupal and Tejpal, both Jain builders. They're also known as Dilwara Jain temples, built in 11th and 13th century. Puri, also known as Jagannath Puri, is one of the major Hindu pilgrimage center in eastern part of India, in state of Odisha. And Puri's landscape is dominated by 65-meter high Jagannath temple built in 12th century. We celebrate every year Rath Yatra, a car festival here where thousands of devotees take part into it. Prayagraj is crowned in ancient scriptures as Tirthraj and is considered one of the holiest pilgrimage centers of India. It's the Kumbh, a mega global tourist attraction held in 4 sacred places in India, and Prayagraj is one of them. Varanasi, I already took Varanasi in the last slide. It's a holy city on the banks of river Ganges and is the oldest living city in the world. Mathura is just an hour's drive from Agra on the banks of river Yamuna, one of the most famous sacred destination of Hindu. Mathura is quite small town on the western bank of Yamuna River. It's a place where Lord Krishna was born and spent his early days, a center of world pilgrimage. Dwarka, located on the western tip of Saurashtra Peninsula. Dwarka has great importance both as one of the 4 principal holy places, Chardham, for Hindus, as well as one of the 7 holy towns, Saptpuris, to visit. For the reason, millions of pilgrimage and historical scholars have come here over the centuries. Haridwar in the state of Uttarakhand, the gateway to the Ghats is situated on the right bank of holy river Ganga and is regarding among the 7 sacred cities of India. Haridwar is also gateway to the 4 major pilgrimage, Chardham, Kedarnath, Badrinath, Gangotri, and Yamunotri. Rishikesh is a starting point for Hindus' Char Dham pilgrimage. Rishikesh is an ideal destination not only for pilgrimage, but also for those who want to develop deeper into spirituality, yoga, and other aspects of ancient practices. Sacred river and mountain makes a perfect stage for yoga and reflective hikes. Rishikesh is also called as yoga capital of the world. Mount Girnar, the highest point of Gujarat. Mount Girnar for centuries has been one of the most important pilgrimage site of the state, and several Hindu and Jain temples spread over the 5 summits. So these are the few important places for cultural heritage and spirituality, which you can see in Incredible India. And like Mr. Verma said, Atithi Devo Bhava, guest is God, is in our culture, our traditions. So this is how we take India forward. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite Shri Santosh Kumar Mal, Principal Secretary, Tourism of Bihar. Shri Santosh Kumar Mal is an Indian Administrative Services Officer of 1997 batch. He is currently the Principal Secretary, Tourism, Government of Bihar. He has been working towards promoting Bihar as a prominent tourist destination and also contributed towards revival of India as a Buddhist destination with special focus on Bodh Gaya. He's also served in central deputation from 2014 to 2020. Over to you, Mr. Mall. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gosai. Good afternoon, Rakesh Verma sir, and good afternoon to all the distinguished audience, ladies and gentlemen, and the delegates. It's a privilege to be with you today and let you zoom into the cultural and the heritage aspects of one of the oldest civilizations, main thrust, Bihar. As the name Bihar goes, it is derived from Vihara, the Buddhist Viharas. And as you might be aware, the famous poet Edwin Arnold referred to the Buddha, Lord Buddha, as the light of Asia, light of Asia. And it would not be an overstatement if I say that the light of Asia actually started lighting up in Bihar. That was at Bodh Gaya, where he attained enlightenment, and then he started moving around and spent so many years at Rajgriha, which is now known as Rajgir, did so much of penance and so much of meditation in and around Bodh Gaya, and then moved across Bihar, places like Vaishali, places like Kesaria, Loria Nandangarh, Chankigarh, all those places. So Bihar is dotted with places where Lord Buddha spent years and years altogether. And let me take you to the spiritual destination. There is a small video, only of 2 minutes. May I request the organizer to please run that?
Bihar Tourism invites you on a grand adventure to witness marvelous sights and feel uplifted by spirituality. Journey through ancient Magadh. Take the road less traveled and experience its serenity. This is the abode of Gautam Buddha. and the birthplace of Lord Mahavir. Walk the land of ancient legends. Discover unique cultures. And cross far-reaching milestones. Step through the doorways of history. Into a wonderland. Visit blissful Bihar and be transformed.
Thank you so much. May I request to please run the PowerPoint slides? This video brought so many good aspects about the rich heritage of our great land of Bihar. It is not alone Buddhism. It is much more than that. It is the birthplace of Lord Mahavira. It is the place which has given birth to two famous religions of the world, Buddhism and Jainism. And then we have so much in the Ramayana circuit also to offer. Next slide, please. Mother goddess Sita was said to be born here at Punoradham in Sitamadi. The whole district is named after her. And there are so many places like Ahilya Sthan, where Lord Rama touched the stone and it became Ahilya, and there's so much to be talked about and seen there. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj was born here, and his early years were spent here. And recently the government organized Prakash Parv on a very grand scale at the 350th anniversary of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, and every year we have been organizing that. And so many new structures related to the Sikh heritage of Bihar have also come up, and we are in the process of making a Prakash Punj, which will depict the lives and times of all the great gurus of Sikhism, and also focusing on the heritage, Sikh heritage of Bihar. It is coming up very soon. Bihar is home to two UNESCO World Heritage Sites, as Mr. Gosai was also pointing it out in his presentation, both Gaya and also Nalanda. If I may point out, the Mahatma was born here in the sense that Mahatma Gandhi started his first movement when he came back to India at Champaran. The movement related to the agriculture of blue, Neel, as it is known in Hindi. The Satyagraha movement started here. So it has so much to offer. So Bihar presently is one of the fastest growing states as far as the development indices are concerned. We are building and widening our roads to a large extent. We are making effort to promote, bring about new wayside amenities, both from the government side as also from the private side. And big convention centers at Bodh Gaya, and state guest house at Bodh Gaya is coming up on a very large scale, worth about 300 crores of rupees. And at Vaishali, there is a grand museum which is being built on more than 300 acres, again to the cost of about 322 crore rupees. And many hotels and resorts are in the process of development at Valmiki Nagar, at Rajgir, and also at Patna. Next slide, please. As was pointed out by Mr. Gosai, this on the left of your screen is Mahabodhi Temple, Bodh Gaya, famous UNESCO World Heritage Site. This temple is the same site where Lord Buddha attained enlightenment, and the tree, the people tree, the Mahabodhi tree, the descendant of the original tree is standing tall at the site, and people come and pay their reverence at this place. It is thronged by Buddhists and non-Buddhists from across the world. Very near to Bodh Gaya is the site of Nalanda. It's only about 60 kilometers from that place. Gaya boasts of an international airport, and so it's only 60 kilometers that we have the site of Rajgir and Nalanda. Nalanda, the famous university of yesteryears, more than 2000 years old history of Nalanda. And that is also a World Heritage Site. And near to Nalanda, we have Rajgir. So all these three locations, Mahabodhi Temple, Nalanda and Rajgir, this triangle presents a great opportunity for all the tourists to come and explore the spirituality and the rich heritage of this place, where Lord Buddha spent a lot of time, as also Lord Mahavira. Next to the same place at Rajgir, we have the Vish Shanti Stupa, one of the peace pagodas built by the Japanese. It was recently visited by the Honorable President of India also. The foundation stone was laid by the then Honorable President of India, Radhakrishnan and was inaugurated by Mr. Giri. And it is a famous site which is thronged by Japanese and other nationalities also. Next slide, please. On your left is the Ashokan pillar of Vaishali, the famous Ashokan pillar of Vaishali. It is located at Kolua, and the red sandstone pillar in its soil majesty is a place worth visiting once. We are coming up with a Samyak museum where the ashes of Lord Buddha will also be kept. It is under the process of construction, and next year, I mean this year itself, in the month of October, we are expecting to complete it. At Rajgir, we have this famous Buddha statue, which has recently been commissioned by Government of Bihar. It is a site to be visited with the swans coming to you in great numbers. In the lake, we have introduced boating also. On your right is the Patna Sahib, the location where Guru Gobind Singh Ji was born, the great warrior, the great spiritual master this country has had, and the founder of Khalsa. A place must visit for all the Sikhs and also non-Sikhs. Next slide, please. As part of our Sufi circuit, we have the locations of Maner Sharif, the tomb of Sher Shah Suri, the famous ruler of India, Sher Shah Suri, who built the Grand Trunk Road. This tomb in Sasaram, the district of Rohtas, is visited by lakhs of people every year. And this Maner Sharif, we have annual Sufi Mahotsava happening there. On your right on the screen is the tallest stupa of the world. Earlier, when we were all kids, we used to study about Borobudur in Indonesia as the tallest stupa in the world. Later on, it was clearly established that Kesaria in East Champaran, near to Motihari, is the tallest stupa in the world. We have developed a resort near this, and ASI is in the process of doing more excavations. This has been excavated to partly. The work is still under progress. Next slide, please. Other than the spiritual and religious locations, we have some mouth-watering dishes to offer from Bihar: the litti chokha, the famous litti chokha, the pedakyas, the balushahis, the parwal ki mithais, the pitthas, the anarsas, the khajas, the thekwas. Come and enjoy once, please. Next slide, please. Bihar is also home to various forms of artworks, starting from the famous Madhubani paintings. The Madhubani Mithila paintings, as we all know them, depict the lives and times of Lord Rama and those times prominently, and other aspects of this area's culture and religion is also depicted in Mithila paintings. The Tikuli paintings, the paper machis, the Manjusha paintings of Bhagalpur region, the Sikki art, the Stonecraft village. We have a village near Gaya, which is known as Patharkati. You can come and see the artisans working there. We have come up with amenities for the tourists also to stay and witness themselves how these stone crafts are actually done. Next slide, please. The famous Sonpur fair, which was considered to be one of the largest fairs, cattle fairs in the whole Asia, happens at Sonpur every year in the month of November, December. And the famous Chhat Mahaparv happens all across Bihar and now across India also. The intensity of this Chhat festival is only seen to be believed. For whole of 60 hours, this people go on fast, and the intensity of celebrations, the involvement of the whole population, the involvement of the whole society, the whole families, everyone comes back to Bihar to witness Chhat. And now it is being celebrated across the country at locations like Mumbai, New Delhi, and other places also. But Chhat is to be seen and believed in Bihar. Next slide, please. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to take you to some finer aspects of Bihar. Welcome to Bihar, blissful Bihar. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful presentation. I think Bihar need a real facelift on the tourism map. Thank you for telling us about more places. Now I move to the second speaker, Srimati Shilpa Gupta, Additional Managing Director, Madhya Pradesh Tourism Board. Srimati Shilpa Gupta is an officer of Indian Administrative Services of 2008 batch. She is currently the Additional Managing Director, Madhya Pradesh Tourism Board, Commission Archaeology, and Additional Secretary Culture. She has been previously posted as Collector of different districts and Commissioner Manrega and Additional Project Director, Department of Education. I request Srimati Shilpa Gupta to give her address.
Good afternoon, everyone. As everybody has already talked that culture, heritage, both are inevitable part of tourism. Definitely some travelers have sole interest of getting cultural experience, but others may have tangible or intangible experience of culture and heritage indirectly as a byproduct of their visit. Culture and heritage is and spirituality also is inherent strength of Madhya Pradesh. Yes, Madhya Pradesh is doing very well in everything, and these aspects create a great opportunity. But yes, it also creates a complex challenge for us, and because now, as we all know, people are not just looking for destination. They want an experiential tourism. So in Madhya Pradesh, what we have done, we are not just focusing on destination. We have adopted different good practices. Like we are now looking for circuits. Like from Dubai, Dubai is very well connected to Delhi. So if a traveler comes from Delhi, he can come to Gwalior, and then don't stop there, because Gwalior you will get experience of music, heritage, culture, cuisine. Bahadura ke laddu is very famous in Gwalior. Then you can go to Orchha. Orchha is again spiritualism. Lord Raja is the king of Orchha, and we have heritage palaces there. Then from Orchha, Chanderi, we have textile culture. Textile Chanderi silk is very famous there, and also heritage part of that. Film industry has shooted many projects in Chanderi. And after that, if we have direct flight from Indore to Dubai. From Indore, we can have a circuit of a spiritual. If you go to spiritual side, we have Ujjain for Mahakal temple, Omkareshwar, and also Maheshwar, Selani, Mandu for historical palaces. So this is our one initiative. Second, we are working with convergence. We are working convergence with three departments: archaeology, culture, and as well as tourism. As I am looking after all three departments, and we are lucky that our PS is also the holding the all three charges. And actually, I found it very useful what we are doing. For example, we had Mandu Festival, which was an event of tourism department, but we have involved archaeology in this. We have maintained our monuments. We did cleaning of them. Audio visual facilities were provided. We gave our monument for storytelling events, and as well as cultural evening. Culture department was also involved. So this has become a practice. So this was one of the example. In February, we are having culture from culture department. We are having Khajuraho Mahotsav, but tourism department is also very well connected with it. Also, Rang Mahotsav and Bhopal Utsav we are having. So all departments are doing all events in convergence. So we are ensuring that tourists get their experience. Experience of culture, experience of lifestyle of the locals, their language. They can have flavor of music, local cuisine, art and craft. And other initiative what we are doing is ensuring that we are working for responsible souvenir. It indirectly promoting our art and craft, and we have taken help of some from support of some support organization, and we are ensuring that their products is marketable, and also we are providing online platform for their selling their products. Also, Madhya Pradesh Tourism Board has skill vertical for upgrading the skill of our stakeholders to get to ensure that our tourists get good experience. So definitely, I would like everyone to invite to Madhya Pradesh and get the feeling of culture, heritage, and spiritual tourism in Madhya Pradesh. So I would now like organizer to please run our presentation.
Greetings from the heart of incredible India. Madhya Pradesh lies at the center of India, both literally and figuratively. The state has something to offer to every traveler, ranging from the commonplace to the sublime. The state is a rich repository of culture, heritage, and spirituality that reflects not only its magnificent history, but also depicts the immense contribution it has made to the ethos of modern India. The culture of Madhya Pradesh presents itself beautifully through its colorful arts and crafts, song and dance forms, well-preserved monuments, and living heritage. This is further accentuated by the various events and festivals that are celebrated throughout the year, helping keep the culture alive and thriving. The large population of tribals in the state have kept alive various indigenous art forms such as Gond paintings, Dhokra craft, block printing, and weaving. The state is globally renowned for its handloom craft, which is practiced in Maheshwar and Chanderi.
कुछ तो होती है कि हिस्टोरी के बेस में जो हमारी कल्चर है पुराना, कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो जैसे जानवर है, तो उस जानवर को हम कुछ नए रूप में देखना चाहते हैं। हिरन के सींग के ऊपर से हम लोग उसका पेड़ निकाल देते हैं, या तो फिर पक्षी बना रहे हैं तो उसको हम सोचते हैं कि इसको पक्षी भी दिखे और साथ में इसका एक पेड़ भी बन जाए, उस रूप में देखते हैं।
अभी 6 महीना हो रहा है मेरी शादी, मई में हुई है 16 तारीख। तो मैं स्केच करता हूँ, स्केच करके इनको देता हूँ, तो ये कलर बताता हूँ करने के लिए। तो कलर उस लड़के को सिखा रहा हूँ मैं, उसके साथ काम करते हैं।
ड्राइंग नहीं मैं सीखी थी,
जीव जंतु, ये पेड़ वेड़ वगैरह। पेड़ बनाना बहुत पसंद है। पहले धड़ निकालते हैं, उसके बाद शाखा डाल डालते हैं, फिर ये पत्ता घर के डिजाइन पूरा कंप्लीट।
लगभग हम ये वाला साइज का 10-15 पेंटिंग बना चुके साथ।
ये कलाकारी हमार दादा के दादा दाई देखन छोटे छोटे रहा मिट्टी सान के अरे से वो भी बनावे तो वो भी हम बना।
हम कहानी से बनाएंगे तो कहानी से आधार से उस तरीके से डिजाइन भी इसको उभार के किस तरीके से लाएंगे, ये है। यहाँ बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, घट नहीं रहे हैं और बढ़ते जा रहे हैं। जैसे एक साल में 10 घर बन गए तो 10 परिवार हो गए।
Madhya Pradesh is equally well known for its royal kitchen serving sumptuous, rich non-vegetarian dishes as it is for its array of local street foods as best seen in Indore's Sarafa Bazaar. Indore, the city of foodies, was shortlisted for Best Food Destination at ITTA Awards, London. The state boasts of a rich legacy of tribal and folk song and dance, which includes the ever-popular Matki, Gangor, Sela and Badhai dances. Madhya Pradesh offers a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to experience authentic rural life in the hinterland of India. Rural tourism activities such as village homestays, local cookery lessons, art and craft activities and storytelling sessions are some of the things that tourists can try their hand at in the state. The traditions of a state can best be captured at its fairs and festivals. The state has its own distinct cultural identity. Madhya Pradesh Tourism organizes several fairs and festivals throughout the year to celebrate the rich cultural offerings of its state. The most popular among these are the Khajuraho Dance Festival, Tansen Samaroh, Jal Mahotsav, Mandu Festival, all of which attract thousands of tourists every year. To promote awareness for the conservation and cleanliness of the heritage monuments and tourist destinations, a series of heritage runs are organized throughout the year at prominent cultural and natural heritage destinations. The state is home to 3 UNESCO World Heritage Sites and 532 state archaeological sites, making it one of the richest repositories of the wealth of ancient India. The magnificent temple complex of Khajuraho, the sacred Buddhist pilgrimage site of Sanchi, and the ancient rock art found in the cave shelters of Bhimbetka are all UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Orcha and Mandu are on the tentative list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites and are slowly gaining global recognition for their exquisite depiction of the bygone past of Madhya Pradesh. Heritage lovers are in for a real treat in Madhya Pradesh. One of the most popular itineraries is to travel from Gwalior, which boasts of the magnificent fort, to Chanderi, a haven for handicraft lovers, to the multi-splendored delights of Orcha and Khajuraho. Many of the towns and cities of Madhya Pradesh offer heritage walks, a great opportunity to learn about the history and culture as described by a seasoned and experienced guide.
Let's look for a place. A place where you get lost to find yourself. A place you go in search of inner peace. Experience serenity. Chase calmness. Observe. Watch the skies turn golden. See dreams etched in stars. Let's visit Amarkantak, a place where time stands still.
Madhya Pradesh has always been a place associated with spirituality. From time immemorial, the state has welcomed pilgrims to the powerful religious spots such as the Shakti Peeths, the Jyotirlingas, and the Buddhist sacred sites. There are 12 Jyotirlingas across India, which are considered to be the most sacred spots for worshippers of Lord Shiva. Madhya Pradesh is home to 2 Jyotirlingas, one at Mahakaleshwar and the other at Omkareshwar. Shakti Peeths are temples dedicated to Shakti, the divine feminine. There are several important places of worship dotting the varied landscape of Madhya Pradesh. The legendary king from the Indian Puranas, Lord Rama, has long been associated with the cities of Orcha and Chitrakoot. To this day, several thousand devotees visit these pilgrimage sites from all over the world. The river Narmada is a lifeline running through the state. It originates at Amarkantak and forms an essential element of worship and spirituality in the state. There are several places in Madhya Pradesh that are associated with the life and teachings of Lord Gautama Buddha. Many places such as Satthara, Andher and Sanchi are a must-see on the list of Buddhist pilgrimage sites. Madhya Pradesh has something to offer to every traveller. It is now a much sought-after destination for wellness tourism as the world seeks better health and well-being in the post-COVID scenario. The state is equipped to offer not just physical well-being through Ayurveda and yoga, but also emotional and spiritual wellness in healing destinations such as Amarkantak and Omkareshwar. We welcome you to the heart of incredible India. Come to Madhya Pradesh and experience its myriad offerings and attractions. Namaste.
Thank you so much. So during this pandemic time, everyone is stressed out. If you want to experience calmness, serenity, and if you want to get inner peace, you all are welcome to Madhya Pradesh. Thank you.
Thank you, Shilpaji, for your powerful presentation. And yes, experiential travel is something which can take India to the heights of tourism map. Now, I invite Shri Sandeep Nanduri ji, Director, Tourism Department and Managing Director, Tamil Nadu Tourism Development Corporation. Sri Nanduri ji is an IAS officer of 2009 batch. He is presently the Commissioner, Tourism Department and Managing Director of Tamil Nadu Tourism Development Corporation. He has rich field experience and served in many districts as district collector and also served as a commissioner of Madurai Corporation and executive director of Chennai Metropolitan Water Supply and Sewage Board. Mr. Nanduri, to you, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ravi. Esteemed guests who are there as part of this conference. Good evening to you all. It is my pleasure to be part of this session on culture, heritage, and spiritual tourism. In fact, a couple of days back, I was also part of the session on medical and wellness tourism. So I was very happy to be there also. So without much wastage of time, I'll immediately start off my presentation. Yeah. So, Government of Tamil Nadu Department of Tourism is what I represent. Tamil Nadu is an enchanting kaleidoscope of culture, heritage, and spirituality. Tamil Nadu is also known as gateway to South India. In fact, tourism arrivals and tourism statistics-wise, we are number 2 in foreign tourist visits and also number 1 in domestic tourist visits as per Government of India 2020 statistical report. Tamil language is one of the oldest language in the world, almost 3,000 years old history we have to it. It's one of the classical languages. And Tamil Nadu is home to 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. In fact, Bharatanatyam is the oldest classical dance form of India and it's originated in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is also known as the land of temples and it is home to more than 44,285 temples. Jallikattu, one of the traditional sport, which is as similar to the bull sport, bull fight in Spain. It is even more popular in Tamil Nadu. And it has a history which dates back to almost 4th century BC. A short video on what Tamil Nadu has to offer. So, to talk about the cultural highlights of Tamil Nadu, we have everything to offer, right from our cuisine, our temples, our dance forms, our art forms, the festivals, the vibrant rural landscape, our palaces, heritage palaces, and much more. Coming to the festivals of Tamil Nadu, we have very popular festivals like Pongal, Deepavali, Kartigai Deepam, Chitrai Festival, Magam Festival, Velankani Festival. Velankani, in fact, is a church in Nagapattinam district, which is visited by not only thousands and lakhs of Christians from all over the country, but many Hindus and many Muslims from people from all the faiths come and visit because it's also called as known as Lady of Good Faith, which is known to heal people's diseases and other burdens. And the Kanduri festival is also another famous festival which happens in Nagore. Nagore is a Dargah, Nagore Dargah, which is built over the tomb of Sufi saint Shahul Hamid. It's another popular spiritual destination of Tamil Nadu. Some other art-related popular festivals which are conducted by the tourism department are Mahabalipuram International Dance Festival, which is Indian Dance Festival, which is happening right now. The Natyanjali Festival, we have the Tyagarajar Music Festival, the Margali Festival, the summer festivals at Ooty, Kodaikanal, Ekad, all the hill stations. In fact, this is one of the posters for our dance festival where not only Indian classical dance forms, but folk dance forms and classical music and other forms of music are played, and our dance form and art forms are celebrated over a period of 30 days and dancers are invited from all across the country. So what are the popular art forms in Tamil Nadu? We already know about Bharatanatyam. In fact, Tamil Nadu is known for over 100 folk art forms, folk art dance forms, Oilatam, Teppatam, Terukuttu, Bommalatam, Karagatam. Like this, there are almost 100 different art forms in Tamil Nadu, and all these art forms are visual treat and which are regularly performed at various events and rural places and villages and other gatherings. In fact, out of these 100 art forms, almost 70 art forms are regularly practiced and performed at various places and during various functions in the state. So Tamil Nadu is also a haven for the gastronomical enthusiasts. It's a gastronomical cuisine is very popular here, and we are trying to promote our cuisine also. Regional cuisine, the very famous cuisine is the Chettinad cuisine of our Tamil Nadu. It is popular in the area called Karaikudi, which is near Madurai, and is very well known for its traditional veg and non-veg dishes, especially spicy non-veg dishes. Madurai, Tirunelveli, and southern districts of Tamil Nadu are well known for their non-vegetarian cuisine. Similarly, the Kanyakumari and the coastal belt is again well known for their coastal food. And the western region called Kongunadu in Tamil Nadu is known for its vegetarian and other local cuisines. So every region has something different, something unique to offer, and it all depends upon the local soil, local taste, and local climatic conditions also. Tamil Nadu is also the heritage hub or heritage capital of the country. As I was mentioning, we have 5 UNESCO heritage sites. In that 4 are heritage temples. We have a long unbroken history kept alive by ancient traditions. Most of these temples are still living temples, which offer unforgettable experiences. And we have many undiscovered spots, vibrant living culture, and forts and palaces also, which are as old as 1,000 years old, 2,000 years old. The UNESCO World Heritage Sites, which I was mentioning, are the Mahabalipuram group of monuments, the Brihadishwara Temple, the big temple in Gangaikonda Cholapuram, Brihadishwara Temple in Tanjavur, Airavateshwara Temple, and the Nilgiri Mountain Railways. A short video on the Brihadishwara Temple.
விசும்பு பரந்தையல் தேட அங்கனே பெரிய சிறிய என்னையாள் விரும்பி என் மனம் புகுந்த எளிமையை எழுகும் நான் மறக்கே உன்னமழறிய ஒருவனாம் இருவர் முக்கனானார் பெருந்தடந்தோ கண்ணலே தேனே அமுதமே கங்கை கொண்ட சோழே சரதானே.
So I was mentioning about the heritage, other part of the heritage in the Chettinadu is a very classic example of how we celebrate our heritage. It's a very small town located close to Madurai, but it has some of the richest palaces that are available in entire India. Almost 30 to 40 old Chettinad style palaces are still very much intact, and many of them have been converted into very luxury hotels by all the big groups, all the hotel groups. It's a very small region which comprises almost 73 villages, and it's very culturally and historically unique in terms of both the cuisine, the architectural style, the kind of the dressing, everything is completely different in this part of the region. And these bungalows are a site to visit, and many of these are open for tourists, and people come there and appreciate the palatial houses, their architectural works. And their teak, it's mostly imported from Burma because of the relation the Chettiars had with the trading relation they had with Myanmar at that time. So almost all the woodwork is done is made of Burma teak wood. Tamil Nadu is also a treasure trove of handicrafts and handlooms. We have many popular handicrafts like the stone carvings, wood crafts, metalwares, brass lamps. The list is on and on. In fact, we have almost a GI tag for 40 different handicrafts in Tamil Nadu. Some of the popular ones are Kanchipuram silk, the Dindigal lock, and the Tanjore Fina, and like that. Many of the products are already having GI tags, and many are under the process now. Application is already on. Similarly, some of the popular handloom items, the Kanchipuram silk, which I don't have to mention, the Bhavani Jamakalam, Madurai Sungudi sarees, Arani silk sarees, Kovai cotton sarees, Salem Patu. Each region has their own unique way of weaving the sarees and also different style of weaving. So spirituality, I don't have to mention. I initially told about 45,000 temples. Some of the most popular temples are Madurai Rameshwaram Temple, Madurai Temple, the Rameshwaram Temple. Then we have Kanchipuram Kanchi Kamachi Temple, or Tiruvannamalai Annamalaya Temple. Like this, there are so many temples, very famous temples. Part of we have Jyotirlingams, we have Nutiyattu Divya Deshams, we have Lord Rama's abode in Rameshwaram. Like this, all the famous temples of the country. The most unique temples in terms of architecture are there in Tamil Nadu, and we get lakhs and lakhs of visitors from across the country and also across the globe to visit our temples and also appreciate our architecture. In fact, though we are known for our temples, we also have a lot of famous churches and also mosques in Tamil Nadu. In fact, I would like to mention about two famous churches. The St. Thomas Church in Chennai is built on the tomb of Saint Thomas, who is one of the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ, one of the most famous pilgrim destination for Christians. And Manapad, a small quaint fishing village in the south, near Thoothukudi, is also known as Little Jerusalem because the relic of the true cross of Lord Jesus, a small piece, a relic, is there in one of the churches there. So thousands and thousands of pilgrims, Christians, come there and visit this holy place. Like this, we have many famous churches across the state, many famous mosques, and also a lot of temples. So Tamil Nadu is a spiritual capital, and not only the temples and the churches, we are also well known for the spiritual locations like ashrams. Tiruvannamalai region in Tamil Nadu is home to more than 20 ashrams. Auroville is a well-known, internationally well-known destination where people come for rejuvenation and regeneration. We have a lot of, we have Ayush related locations and institutes which offer rejuvenation packages, which I already mentioned during the previous speech. So Tamil Nadu is the perfect location, perfect space to rejuvenate both physically and also spiritually. The last video, and I'll end my presentation on Rameshwaram. So thank you. Thank you for giving this opportunity. As you must have seen in our logo, Tamil Nadu is a state where the stories begin, but the stories never end. So I welcome you all to be part of this state and be part of our story. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep ji, for this presentation, and I hope people will know more about Tamil Nadu. And as we move forward, I'll take questions later on. So I would like to invite now Odisha Tourism for their presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Odisha Tourism, I will talk about the state's offering in terms of culture, heritage, and spirituality to the global and the domestic audience. The state has multiple of experiences that it offers, including UNESCO World Heritage Site at Konark Sun Temple, the world-renowned Jagannath Temple at Puri, which is one of the four dhams of Hindu culture in India, and more than 4,000 plus sites of caves, temples, monasteries, monuments, forts, etc. that crisscross the state. The state also offers a multitude of art and craft tourism, ethnic tourism, fairs and festivals, wildlife and ecotourism, as well as sports and coastal and wetland tourism. The prime tourist circuits when it comes to today's theme are the Golden Triangle Heritage Art Trail of Bhubaneswar, Konark and Puri, which will showcase the state's ancient history, its legacy, its rich art and craft, as well as its religious significance. A specific Buddhist circuit, and people who follow Buddhism, Buddhists are aware that Odisha is the place where Lord Buddha attained, Lord King Ashoka attained salvation and embraced Buddhism, seeing the violence in the Kalinga War. More than 200 plus Buddhist sites have been excavated till date, and the state is a rich treasure of Buddhist heritage that is yet to be explored. When it comes to ethnic tourism, the northern part of the state and especially the southern part of the state are home to about 62 indigenous tribes, which form the history of the civilization in the state and are key to our ethnic circuit. As I said, the state has more than 1,000 prominent temples. In fact, Bhubaneswar as a city is known as the city of temples and has more than 1,000 temples at one point of time. Currently, there are about 400 temples remaining. The 12th century Sri Jagannath Temple in Puri is known to everybody. It's one of the four major Hindu pilgrimage sites across the world. And in fact, the Rath Yatra that is held here annually sees participation of almost 2 million devotees every year. And obviously, this was pre-COVID. Not many would know that the word Juggernaut in English dictionary comes from the Rath Yatra, where the chariots of three deities are difficult to stop and has had history of rolling over many devotees. So that's how far back the history and the spirituality of Odisha goes. The Konark Sun Temple is again a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is something to be seen, to be believed in terms of architecture and its beauty. Khandagiri Udayagiri Caves are a Jain heritage site built during 1st century BC and are in the heart of Bhubaneswar. Out of the 11 surviving Chauset Yogini, there are 64 goddesses in various forms. In fact, this shape is what inspired the current Indian Parliament that one can see in Delhi. So, two prominent amongst the 11 surviving in India, Hirapur and Ranipur Jhariyal, are in the state. In terms of Buddhist heritage, the state is yet discovering its Buddhist lineage. The Diamond Triangle of Ratnagiri, Udayagiri, and Lalitgiri are our current Buddhist circuit, which provides a sneak peek into how Buddhism has evolved in the state and how the state plays a key role in the expanse and in the teachings of Gautam Buddha being propagated to the entire world. Tibetan texts in Paksam Dzongtsang, they suggest the origin of the Mahayana sect of Buddhism in the state. The Shanti Stupa and rock edicts at Dhauli are the background for the Dhauli light and sound show every evening. And this is bang along the Daya River, where Emperor Ashoka, seeing the violence and the bloodshed, underwent transformation and started propagating Buddhism. Padmasambhava Mahavira, it's the largest monastery of Eastern India, and that is situated in Zirang district, in Zirang town of Odisha. So Buddhism and Jainism have a significant foothold in the state, and we welcome travelers and tourists to explore both lineages. The state has a rich art and craft heritage. We have almost 51 GI tags in distinct craft forms, starting from handloom to stone carvings to Pattachitra, which is a very fine art drawn on palm leaves or on silk leaves or on silk cloth. Pipli applique work, a number of sarees, which are again from the native silk that is available in the state, both in the southern and in the western part of the state. In fact, there is a village called Raghurajpur, which is a heritage craft village of 170 households, where every household practices the art, and the entire village is an open art gallery. This is something to be seen, to be believed, on the colorful display in front of every house. There are other art forms as well. Silver filigree work, which is predominantly in Kathak, Dokra art, bell metal work, which is found in a lot of districts in the southern part of the state, are all something that the state is proud of its heritage. We also are very famous for the sand art that the state showcases to the world. In fact, Padma Shri Sudarshan is one of the finest sand artists in the world, and he he calls Odisha his home. The state, while Odissi is something that is popular as a dance form among the global audience, the state has a number of other performing art forms to be offered. Key among them being Sambalpuri, Chhau, Pala, Daskatia, Baghar Nacho, Ghoda Nacho, and most interestingly, Gotipo, where you see on the right side, these are not females dancing, these are male who dress up as females and dance. So this is a very unique concept and is ethnic tourism, 62 tribes, accounting for about 24% of the population. And they form a significant part of our cultural identity and distinctiveness, both in terms of language, rituals, festivals, and even cuisine. And the state, celebrates a number of festivals to showcase our ethnic tourism. Nuakhai, Parab, and Monday are some of the festivals. Cuisine is something that is inherent to any state, any region's culture and heritage. And Odissan cuisine is again a very subtle cuisine, which has not been propagated across the world. And Odisha Tourism has now launched Nimantran, a chain of authentic Odia cuisine restaurants that serves vegetarian and non-vegetarian dishes which are native to the state. While the restaurants are currently within the state, we plan to take it across the states in India and globally. The state is branded as India's best kept secret, and our event calendar, which is primarily from December to February, is listed for your reference. We have the Chilika Bird Festival, which celebrates our migratory birds who call Chilika home during winters in January. We have a dance and music festival in January in Mukteshwar and Rajarani in Bhubaneswar. The Dholi Kalinga Mahotsav in February celebrates the martial art forms that was part of Odisha's rich cultural heritage. Hirakud on the western part of the state is a lifeline of the state when it comes to irrigation and food and livelihood. And to celebrate the reservoir and the river, a Hirakud Dance and Music Festival is organized in February. Along with Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia, Vrindavan Mahotsav is organized in March, and we have other festivals like Chhau Festival in Mayurbhanj that is inherent to the tribal population of the region. The Konark Dance Festival and International Sand Art Festival are our marquee festivals held from 1st to 5th December and are celebrate a fusion of dances and art forms from across the world. Parab Festival in Koraput again signifies the tribal and ethnic diversity of the state. The state has been awarded a number of times when it comes to promoting its culture, heritage, and spirituality. And we welcome travelers and tourists from across the world to visit the state and to experience India's best kept secret. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this presentation. Now I would request team to play video from the Punjab tourism.
Visit Amritsar for a deeply spiritual journey, where every bylane tells a story of hearty food, of faith, sacrifice, and remembrance. Come watch the world's most spectacular border ceremony. Visit Amritsar, the very heart of Punjab. Time stands still in this city of bliss. A city witnessing the colourful Hola Mohalla in the month of March. Stop over at the Naina Devi temple. Visit Asia's most visited museum, an archive of the Sikh community, and enjoy the magnificent Nangal wetlands. The land of community kitchens, where food is philosophy. From the sweet taste of syrupy jalebis to the iconic Rajma Chawal and Kadi Chawal, come celebrate Punjab's great bounty. Welcome to India's breadbasket. Punjab's social fabric is based on the tenets of secularism, humanism, and peace. Its gurus made supreme sacrifices. The people of Punjab have always remained in the forefront during the freedom struggle. Come visit the land of valor. Come and visit Punjab.
Thank you for this video from Punjab Tourism. Now I would like to invite Professor Amreshwar Gala, UNESCO Chair on Inclusive Museums and Sustainable Heritage Development, Anand University, Ahmedabad. Professor Gala, PhD, has studied at the prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. He has provided strategic cultural leadership as Australia's first professor of museum studies, University of Queensland, Brisbane, and prior to that, he was professor and director of Sustainable Heritage Development, Research School of Pacific and Asian Studies, the Australian National University in Canberra, and founding director of the Pacific Asia Observatory for Cultural Diversity in Human Development in partnership with several bodies, including UNESCO. He is also senior founding trustee of Pacific Islands Museum Association. Thank you, Professor Gala, for your patience. And now it's up to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction. I'm just trying to share my screen. But while I share my screen, I just want to say that I was born, brought up, and educated in India. And I've worked in several countries for 4 decades before moving back to India in the last decade. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Can you see my screen? Yeah. This is fantastic. I mean, that's a feast, all the presentations. What can one say except say, of course, incredible India, the diversity of presentations. But the diversity of India. India is the most culturally and linguistically diverse country in the world. In fact, if you think of linguistic diversity, of course, Papua New Guinea is more linguistically diverse. But if you think of linguistic and cultural diversity, India is the most culturally and linguistically diverse country in the world. When people go to Europe, they talk about Swedish, Italian, and so on. But when they talk about India, they talk about Indian. But in fact, that is actually fictitious because India is so rich and so diverse, and you've just seen several presentations. And what I thought is that what impact the pandemic has had. Let's look at what impact the pandemic has had in terms of tourism in India and how India is prepared for the post-pandemic situation. In my opinion, and I've worked with UNESCO and UN World Tourism Organization in different parts of the world, and having been back in India for nearly a decade, and I can say this, that India is one of the best prepared countries for post-pandemic tourism. Because most states that you've just heard about, they have seen it as an opportunity, not a threat, but an opportunity to stop, reflect, and rethink what tourism is about, what leisure spectrum is all about, and what about the future. And there's a paradigm shift that's looming in India that you can, those of you who are listening, those of you who want to come to India, you can really enjoy. Is there's a greater diversification of visitor experiences that is envisaged, but also given Prime Minister Modi ji's seminal speech at the climate COP26 in Glasgow, the climate summit, Indian tourism as well as associated industries are looking at a range of sustainable alternatives, especially indigenous knowledge systems. And also India is looking at things differently from Europe. I mean, I lived in Europe before moving back to India, and I keep going back. But the talk is always about mass tourism, over tourism. But in India, that's not the issue. The state by state, what people are looking at is how can they create more experiences so that tourism is distributed and the benefits are accrued by the local network of community groups, both in the formal and informal sectors. So there's better job creation, there's poverty alleviation, addressing the 17 sustainable development goals across the board, including SDG 5, one of the priority areas in India. So if you're looking at tourism in India, what you would really enjoy coming to India in the coming years is this very practical, had fingers in the dirt kind of tourism that gives you fantastic experiences. And but tourism is, all tourism is cultural, but heritage tourism is different. In the sense, in heritage tourism, we use non-renewable resources. That's why in UNESCO, we have a whole program on tourism and heritage conservation. UNESCO, together with UNWTO, World Tourism Organization, has a charter, and there's also codes of ethics that deal with conservation while resources are being used within experiential tourism. So this is something very important. But in dealing with this built environment, the notion of built environment has changed in India during the pandemic, and that's what you'll experience, because 73% of Indians live in villages. And you've seen in all the presentations, several villages, crafts, monuments, sites, people have been profiled. So the built environment of the villages, the non-urban areas, is also given equal importance as part of the post-pandemic tourism in most of the states of India. So how do we, if design is a ubiquitous process, designing, then how does one actually design experiences so that to improve lives and experiences of people? So the design options that are being considered are quite challenging and really being well addressed. And these are some of the issues that UNESCO together, the UNESCO chair, and there's an MOU between UNESCO and this conference organizes in Muziris, Kerala, which is the heartland of the spice trade of the ancient world as well as present day world. There were recently ambassadors for 32 countries who came together and addressed the importance of the spice trade. So if you want to enjoy India, its festivals, its creativity, biennales, everything, and its monuments that have been presented by my previous esteemed colleagues who just presented, you would find far more than what you see. There's more than meets the eye when you come to India. Yes, previous speakers have mentioned there are 40 World Heritage Sites, but World Heritage Convention is only one to which India is a state party. India is also a state party to the Intangible Heritage Convention. We have over 20 intangible heritage elements across India, but whether it's the Intangible Heritage Convention or the World Heritage Convention, the preambles in both of them mention clearly, inscription is only one part of it, but how that stimulates, heritage conservation across India is important for us in India. And India is probably one of the few countries that takes it beyond inscription of sites into heritage conservation, especially in the context of tourism. How tourism resources are pumped back into conservation, job creation, and sense of place and dignity of people in such a rich and diverse country. Sense of place and identity of people is very important. We are many peoples in India. We speak 200 languages, 8,000 dialects, and you can imagine how diverse it is. And within this context, one of the areas that I've been looking at is, which has already been mentioned, is Buddhist tourism. To be honest, each Buddhist site actually is like a key that opens a door to a whole cultural system, like what was mentioned in Bihar by the secretary, for example. And you get Ajanta in Western India, Bodh Gaya, Mahabodhi. Sorry, just 1 minute. There's something. Yeah, Mahabodhi temple that has already been mentioned. I'm not going to repeat this. I just want to show you that each one of them, like I said, is a key that opens a door. This is one of the, when I was a very young man, I trained in the first excavations in Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh. And one of the favorite things was to go to Sanchi, and which is a World Heritage Site, so is Bhimbetka. And the diversity between the two World Heritage Sites and the experiences get are phenomenal. I cannot describe how different they are on the World Heritage list, and this is what you would experience in India. And Sanchi is one of the best conserved sites, best conserved stupa in India, one of the best sites, sort of in the world for understanding Buddhism. Nalanda, one of the first universities in the world. People, when they talk about universities, they always think about Europe, but this is one of the first universities and the oldest university in the world, Nalanda. This is a major archaeological site, and it's got fantastic opportunities for you to walk and experience, and sculptural traditions as you move across Elephant on the west coast and to various sites on the west coast of India. All these you can find. We just produced, UNESCO just produced a fantastic coffee table volume with Marpin Publishers on World Heritage Sites of India, incredible treasures. As we talk about incredible India, UNESCO World Heritage Sites of India. And it's Marpin Publishers and UNESCO, we published it. Now, why I'm taking you through this, and I'm conscious of time, so is that what we are doing next year, and this is the website, tourismandleisurestudies.com 2022, or you can email me, it's very simple, a.gala@yahoo.com.au. We are trying to bring together globally how people have approached or are approaching post-pandemic tourism. The pandemic has affected everybody. I mean, there are two things that did not discriminate between global north and south. One is the climate crisis. The other one is the coronavirus. Irrespective of global north, global south affected everybody. So that means tourism in both global north and global south has been affected. So people from all over the world are coming together for this conference, which brings a lot of UNESCO Unitarian professors who specialize in tourism. And the focus is on responsible post-pandemic tourism. So what is responsible approach? What is ethical engagement in post-pandemic tourism? Built environment and design excellence, as I already mentioned right at the beginning. This is going to be in Muziris in the state of Kerala. Already people from all the different parts of India have registered for this. And we've created a range of experiences, including Kochi Muziris Biennale, which is one of the largest biennales in the world. And we're very proud of it in India. So you get an opportunity coming to, on your visit, to experience how the whole landscape has been transformed through the Biennale. And so it's like, Biennale for a site or site for a Biennale. It's actually, both. And also Alepe, the transformation of Alepe, which people in the old days used to call, Venice of the East. But I would say this is the Venice of the world, or Alepe is the world. The transformation of existing built environment within the context of tourism by providing transformative architecture, using transformative architecture for new experiences. This is something that you see everywhere in India. And this is what I want to finish with, is that when you think of all those fantastic things that our distinguished colleagues and other panelists have shared with you, that's only what you're seeing. And I said there's more than meets the eye. There's a lot more. India is a layered country with more than 5,000 years of built environment, layers and layers of intangible heritage values, and 2,000 years of Buddhism, and several sites. I mean, we only talk about 5 World Heritage Buddhist sites, but there are over 40,000 Buddhist sites that are registered, recorded, which are being conserved and studied by all the states and the Archaeological Survey of India. So there's a whole range of experiences awaiting you. And I know that the global audience for this Dubai Expo 2020 are looking at India because India provides the best services. I mean, you can buy the services that you need in India. That's my experience. There are many rich countries where you can go, you can spend a lot of money, but service is always a challenge. But in India, service is almost what, Ravi, what did you say? Atithi Devo Bhava, right?
Atithi Devo Bhava, yeah.
So, India treats its visitors with a kind of spirituality, with a kind of godliness, if you will. And so India's spirituality is deeply embedded. It's a country we don't traditionally say nature culture like they do in the West, because Bhumata is everything to India. Bhumata is neither culture nor nature. It's a holistic approach. And India is one of the leading countries in cultural tourism and heritage tourism that's taking a holistic approach, and your experiences will be holistic. That's all I can say. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, Professor Gala, for your wonderful narration. And since we are short of time, I'm just moving to our next speaker, Mr. Randhir Vikram Singh. He is the president of Indian Heritage Hotels Association. Sri Randhir Vikram Singh ji is credited for putting Mandawa in Shekhawati region of Rajasthan on World Tourism map. He was a pioneer in hotel tourism and one of the first to convert his castle, which is over 300 years old, into a heritage tourism property. He's also chairman and managing director of Hotel Castle Mandawa. Randhir ji, it's now to you. Thank you.
Slideshow.
You can do slideshow, Randhir ji.
Well, just 1 second.
Okay.
Namaskar, good evening. A special thanks to Government of India, Ministry of Tourism, and particularly Mr. Rakesh Verma, FICI, for inviting me today. Officials of the state governments, my colleague Ravi from the travel trade, fellow panelists, ladies and gentlemen. India is one of the world's oldest civilization. We've all been talking about it. A crucible of myriad forms of art, architecture, music, dance, traditional customs, crafts, textiles, languages, fairs and festivals, cuisine, and more. Home to, we've all been talking about 40 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, land of ancient literature, religion, culture, and spirituality. Everybody's talked about monuments I'd like to talk about that you can come and stay in some of these beautiful heritage properties. So India recognized heritage hotels as a special category from star category hotels in the year 1990. Heritage hotels are buildings built prior to 1950. They are buildings like castles, forts, palaces, villas, period houses, hunting lodges, and so on. They take you into an area of really bygone era. You can experience the old world charm. It's almost like living into history. You get goose pimples when you see that you're rubbing shoulders against history there. Most of the heritage hotels are run by the original owners or owners who have acquired these properties and are the custodians of India's rich and diverse culture, heritage, and spirituality. From 13 members in 1990 to about 200 members spanning over 16 states of India, from north to south, east to west. There's across over 6,000 keys, creating about 120,000 jobs directly, and about into 13, you can say, indirect jobs are created by this. The role of the heritage hotels of India is to preserve the history, culture, spirituality, and the tangible and intangible heritage of incredible India. We at the Indian Heritage Hotel Association are passionate custodians of the Indian heritage. As an association, of our main objective is to promote, preserve, and revive the rich culture, history, spiritual, and architectural heritage through our member hotels. We pledge to help revive the intangible heritage of the country and form traditional arts and crafts and folklore. And we take you through the journey. As you just mentioned, I said I'll start off with one example, and I take the example of Mandava itself. It's a 250-year-old property built in 1755. And why I took this example is that these are similar examples. All our 200 members have these similar stories to tell you. So I thought I'll just start with this. We've all preserved our ancestral properties, the architecture, the entire region benefits. You know, when you develop these heritage hotels, the local people benefit a lot because you get employment there. And this Mandava is in a region known as Shekhawati, which is about 2.5 districts of present Rajasthan. Shekhawati is famous for wall paintings. It's like when you go to Pompeii or Naples in Italy, you find a couple of villas. When you come to Shekhawati, you find there are over 2,000 havelis which are painted, and they're painted from inside and outside. I'll give you a slide, next slide I'll show you. And these, instead of painting your houses, they used to do paintings. The richest people of India, 90% of them, the Marwadis, come from this particular part of the world. It was known as the Open Art Gallery. It's you can almost compare it with Venice, something similar. The culinary experience that celebrates the living heritage. Here we are coming to Dungarpur. It's in south of Rajasthan. We have the owner participating here on the left side. So these are some of these very interesting experiences which are there in each heritage hotel. Each hotel gives you a completely different experience. And that is what makes heritage come alive. We see monuments. Today I've seen so many of my colleagues doing presentations of different states, and different beautiful architectural monuments are there. But in the heritage hotels, you can come and actually experience these things. This is how these things are painted. The entire paintings of Shekhawati are in this form. You find that inside and outside the house, the entire thing was painted. So these are these beautiful art gallery. Then heritage hotels are very famous for the cuisine trail of India. You go to every heritage hotel, it showcases the different cuisines. It has preserved the recipes and culinary techniques passed down from generations. And every 20 kilometers, you can see the cuisine will change totally. So what happens in India is this cuisine itself could be a little tour to be taken across the country. And you can promote, from here we can move to the traditional festivals. Each heritage property in the country celebrates different festivals like Holi, Diwali, Pongal, Onam, and you can showcase these beautiful things. Also, the museums are there, a lot of events are there. And the best part is that the owners, the local villagers, they all participate in these interactions. And the guest can also interact here. And so it becomes a holistic approach to going through this event activities. Another interesting thing about is promotion of the intangible heritage of India. This picture is from Cochin, Malabar House in South India. Now we are promoting a lot of artists, performing arts, theaters. Now a lot of these panelists have talked about different art forms which are there. Now here you can actually stay in a property and also witness these beautiful art forms, which become very authentic then. And then we talked about celebrating the spiritual essence of India. Even these villages have these beautiful religious places where you can, Sikhism, Buddhism, we all talked about, Islam, Hinduism, and so many other religions. And most of these things are practiced at most of these villages, and you can participate there. So that makes it a little more interesting that you can come and participate in these things. This is promotional, these things put on a couple of points how to preserve the cultural heritage and spirituality of India. So we integrate marketing, discovering uncharted destinations of India, promoting heritage culture, and finally, how we contribute to better and safe travel to India. That's a very important aspect of this thing. How do we go and have a safe destination? And heritage hotels fit in very well here because they are into far-flung areas, they're small properties, and you have these little courtyards, you have terraces, you can have gardens where you can have a meal, you can go and stay. The rooms are 5 or 6 rooms in the area, unlike these big hotels where there's a corridor and the 20 rooms, 50 rooms. So these are very safe properties to come and stay. And all COVID protocols are maintained, and the wellness things are there. And that is what heritage is all about. And that's the essence of our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Randeji, for your address. It's wonderful to see heritage hotels because they are part of tourism products for tour operators, I can say. So it's very important for tourists. Thank you for this presentation. And now we have time for question and answers. I don't see any questions here, but if there is any questions on YouTube, maybe Vicky can pass it on to me.
No, sir. There are no questions.
Okay, thank you, Manishji. So before we end, I said that the presentations, all the presentations have a very important part where we saw food as a part of our heritage. So I have a small video, 30-second video to show on food from Incredible India. Team, can you please play it?
In India, I learned that you don't add masala just to the food. You add it to everything you do. I learned that flavour is more than a taste. It's a sight, it's a sound, it's a science. In India, I found the secret masala spices that make all the difference. The joy with which you cook, the love with which you serve.
Thank you. Before we close, that I would like to say that India is prepared as a safe tourist destination post-COVID. with over 1.5 billion of vaccine jabs administered. So we are on the way, and we are not leading behind, but ahead of all the world in terms of handling corona situation. And I'm sure that we'll have a better place for tourism in the future. And also, I would like to share that, many of the panelists said, that India is an experience. Actually, for me, it's a journey of lifetime which cannot be missed. So when we invite tourists to India, it's not a regular destination. It's an experiential trip. It's an experience. So Professor Gala said. So thank you very much. And that will all for today. I would like now to thank all the speakers for their address during our session today. The presentations and video showcase during today's event provides the glimpse of India's culture, heritage, and spiritual destination that we offer. I thank all the esteemed speakers once again for their time, and thank you again. Jai Hind.